So for our children's sermon today, we got a couple people live and online. I want to talk to you guys about when I was a kid, we learned about the five senses. Anybody know what one of the five senses is? You know what one of the What do you think? What's one of the five senses? Hearing. Hearing is one of the five senses. Anybody know what another is? Adults, help them out. Smelling, right? What else? Seeing, touching, feeling, and tasting, right? Those are the five senses. And usually, when we think about how people share God's love with each other, or how God shares love with us, we often think about ways that we see. Like, what can we see that God is doing for us? Or sometimes we talk about what we can hear. Does somebody say that they love us? That's something we hear with our ears. And sometimes it can be something we feel either with our hands, like when we give somebody a can of soup or something like that when we were back doing the Super Bowl and they had food. It was something they could feel, or they could feel it in their stomach, or sometimes feel love in their heart. Usually the way we think about sharing God's love, the way we can see and hear and sometimes feel. But in today's gospel reading, Mary, who was one of Jesus' close friends, she loved Jesus a lot, and she wanted to show Jesus how much she loved Jesus. And everybody knew how much she loved Jesus because of what they smelled. She took this really expensive perfume and she poured it over Jesus' feet and she dried it with her hair. It sounds really gross and disgusting. It was one of the things people did back in those days. And everybody, even the people who couldn't see it, even the people who couldn't hear her, even the people who weren't watching, could smell the perfume in the house. You know, sometimes you smell perfume or cologne or something like that in your house. You could smell it. And that was how Mary showed that she loved Jesus. It's not usually a way we think about showing how much we love each other, right? Except that when I was a little kid, I used to go to my grandmother's house, and she would cook us all kinds of food. And we would smell all the stuff Grandma was cooking. And Grandma didn't have to say she loved us. She didn't have to show it. We could smell that, and you knew that Grandma loved us. So think about, or just remember, that sometimes the way that we experience love and the way that we share love with other people, it can come through all five of our senses. Just like in today's gospel reading, people were able to smell how much Mary loved Jesus. Thank you guys very much for listening.